Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Six-Sided Scullers. This is the TNA pay-per-view photo here at BC WrestlePod. I feel like it's been forever since we rolled out TNA pay-per-view. We went from last year having a pay-per-view almost every month to now only having a few. So that's gonna be fun. But my name is Mikey. I'm El Jefe of the BC Wrestle Pods. And of course, joining me is my good amigo, Radio Free Will. And we are here to cover TNA Lockdown, which, not to kind of bury the lead a little bit, but you know what, TA, I got to give you props for this one. This is actually a really great show. I was like,
yeah,
I'm shocked.
Honestly, I don't know if it's just my expectations were so low or like this this was like a really solid pay-per-view. Like a few note, I can't say no notes, but all in all, yeah. Passing grade.
Really, 100%. And we're gonna get into our matches here because there was a lot of great stuff here, and I was very surprised. I was like, I don't know, man, if TNA can carry this to Bound for Glory. Like, once again, like in in a nuclear explosion, things that will survive are cockroaches, Twinkies, and TNA somehow.
Yep.
Always do. But we're gonna get into it. As you all know, you already know the drill at our intro. We go live pretty much on a weekly basis, daily at this point. We have of social media at BC WrestlePod merch. And if you want to help us pay for pay-per-views like this Sunday with AEW All In coming in, it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm not gonna lie. This year I do miss the running joke that we did last year because of where it was located in Texas last year, called it Y'all in Texas. But I'm excited nonetheless. It's gonna be a good show, I'd say. All right, without further ado, let's just get into it. We had 2 countdown matches, and we're just gonna quickly go through them. This has been this has been the weirdest build to this so far. Righteous BDE, Rich Homie Swan.
It was solid. It was all right. Not bad. Still don't. I mean, I understand why the Righteous are doing what they're doing. The Righteous continue to puzzle me because on paper it should work, but like in execution, it's leaving something to be desired, and I don't know, and I couldn't even tell you like what they could do to fix it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I love the Righteous. I truly do. But I not know
they're
what's
great.
not working here. I was like, I'm not sure we're not working here. And then also too, like their weird obsession of thinking that Rich Swan is not great for BDE. I was just like, unless we see some plot development, I'm just like, all right, well, let's just strap in kids.
and my whole thing is like, I get why they're going for BDE because, social media, influencer, yada, yada, yada. Guys, Rich Swan is a former world champion.
Right. Just saying.
Like, if you're trying to get some righteous, like, shine for yourselves, social media is great. Gold belts are better.
100%. So, yeah, I mean, we're going to see how this develops. Because y'all know it's not over.
Yeah. Oh, this one's just starting. And hey, let me just say, I'm glad we are finally moving on from their feud with the Hardys.
For like almost a whole, like what feels like forever.
It was a year. It was a whole ass year because they debuted right around this time last year and feuded with the Hardys the whole fucking time.
Insane. We survived a lot. But yeah, so this match was fine. And honestly, so was this next one. I was like, 2 weeks, I was like, yeah, just get Trey back in here. It's fine.
Yep. Yeah, get him back up to speed. You know, classic. You know, little fast guy versus big strong guy. It's
Trey wins. Like that's
yeah,
all there really is to it. Um, but yeah, so countdown show. That was the thing. Now let's get to the main card though, because this is where we're going to
yes.
actually have our talking.
The
Talk
meat and
points is where we're at with this
potatoes.
one. Speaking of meat and potatoes,
Yes, the Big E must have been happy with this match because just
yes,
a couple of big meaty men slapping meat.
I actually really like this one, especially.
Yeah,
I, I mean, I I like AJ Francis, but now I was just like, you know what, AJ's doing some really great work. Honestly, this was
yeah,
really great from him too, and I have to say this: as much as Elisha's like character hit and miss for me, Elisha also did some really good stuff here, dude. This was a great house match, honestly.
yeah. Really, really good Haas match of just guys like just being able to throw each other around and even showing off some like really good agile spots. I mean, AJ cinching it with that the moonsault at the end there. Like I there's a big part of me that feels like AJ Francis has dedicated his career to trying to escape the flop dollar nickname after that like one botched dive. And it's and I mean he's made it work. He's getting better at it and like and it's he's starting to remind me of Bam Bam Bigelow. You know, a guy that size that can do moonsaults is terrifying. You know, it's
Seriously, I was just like all the flips. But yeah, this was a great Haas match, and then of course,
there was one
consequence.
spot that I was confused about them when Elijah tried to do the walk with Elijah from the top of the cage.
That was
And
a little awkward, yeah.
I'm sitting here going like, okay, like I see what you're doing, and I understand like the build for the hype of it, and I'm glad that AJ ended up sort of countering it because I'm sitting here going like, so what's the payoff of this? Like, what it like? Because the walk with Elijah leads into a clothesline. You're supposed to land on your feet, and we've seen what happens when people try to land on their feet from heights like that. We have seen the legs that go, oh, there's an extra joint in that leg. Or the ankle isn't supposed to be on that side of the leg. Yeah, it's like, again, I understand what they were going for, like just sort of the hype for it, but like it's one of those things like you haven't planned, like you, Elijah, the character in the ring, because obviously they planned it out. They must have talked that spot out and like tried to figure out how to make that work. But like you, Elijah, the character, have not thought this all the way through.
No, 100%. I was just like, oops. But of course, towards the tail end of this match, to kind of wrap it up, there were, no pun intended, consequences to this, because consequence does get rolled down to the ring.
Expressions. I thought it was.
Sorry. Expressions and consequences. Honestly, no, I'm thinking about another promotion that has someone similar called Consequence. There's a lot, you guys. There's a lot.
Well, I mean, no. Well, I mean, I understand like TNA consequences Creed,
yeah.
But like, no. But he's showing up on Sunday.
Yes, I was. It's the worst kept secret. And Tony, if you pull some shenanigans in that championship, I was like,
I swear to God, Swerve's going to end up tagging with FTR. Like that's what it's going to be. It's like all this build up to the New Day showing up, and then like, nope, just FTR.
I would not be surprised. Technically, FTR will be in the area because they are wrestling at the Rev Pro show, like I think 2 days before. So who knows? We'll see what happens. That would be I'm not gonna lie though, that would be the biggest troll, and I would actually kind of be here for it. But I'm hoping it is, what it is. Anyways, AJ Francis wins this match, but of course he gets his comeuppance because hometown man coming out with the car, and AJ Francis gets el-bonged at the very end. And yeah, good, really fun way to start off the main card. I thought this was Solid stuff. Big house match. Loved it. Moving on. Okay. So I'm not gonna lie. And unfortunately, I feel like we kind of talk about this anytime we talk about the Knockouts tag team having a championship match on a pay-per-view. I will say this was my lowest of the night. Because it was short. It felt really weird. Heather, love you, girl. But how is it that you were easily able to snake your way out of this cage and you forgot how the match worked to get back in? I was like, But before we talk about the match, though, I do want to talk about the positive. Miss Kiera Hogan is back, and I love Kiera. She and Tasha Steelz were a tag team. Faya and Flava when she was here years ago. Kiera has taken some time off, and she kind of like took a break from wrestling, and now she's back. So I miss Kiera. I think she's fun, but outside of that, this was not my favorite match.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say, like, this is my first time seeing Kiera Hogan in the ring, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm always a little hesitant about any wrestler with the last name Hogan. But it's an interesting pairing of her with Allie. And do we know what's going on with Rosemary? Like, is she like, I mean, I know she struggles with mental health stuff in real life. So I mean, if that's what she's fighting right now, but
so I do have a little bit of an update, and this was shared via. Now I know it's hit or miss, but honestly, for the most part of all the news outlets out there, Fightful has a pretty good track record.
Sure.
So when it comes to news stuff, their personalities are part of the team range from, hey, I love some of your hosts to, ooh, I don't know if that, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah. Fightful shared that Rosemary is injured, and she got injured at a independent wrestling event, I think a week or two ago. And so now she's on the injury reserve. So therefore, it makes a lot of sense why Allie and Kiera are now paired up, and spoiler alert, are still your TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Champions. I do appreciate commentary because it reminded me, like, oh yeah, kind of left Kiera in the undead realm, so it does make sense that she does have that tie in there. Before she left TNA, they kind of just left her in the undead realm. So it was like, homegirl, you saw a lot. But yeah, this was not my favorite match. But I do appreciate that Allie and Kiera are tag teams because I do like Allie, and I'm happy Kiera's back. Also, shout out to M by Elegance. She is the inaugural TNA Knockouts television champion. And I mean, it's just from my opinion, and I know, it's just mine, but I have to say the match from last night's episode was actually really good. Jada actually did good.
I was going to say that was the most impressive I've seen M by Elegance since getting into TNA. Like, although it makes a lot of sense watching that, because the promo leading into that match, she mentioned that she's only been wrestling for 4 years, which explains a lot. Like, she's always felt a little clunky, but like at 4 years now, like, she's starting to like figure out what her strengths are. So, and she can lean into those a little bit better. And I know she looked fantastic in that TV title match. So yeah, no, again, and honestly, it would be really cool to see her kind of take on kind of a leadership role for the Elegance brand if Ash is going to be out, and that would be
honestly. And honestly, if we could get these kind of matches, because the whole gimmick of the belt is it's only defended on TV in like a 10-minute time limit, I was like, honestly, this actually could be really fun. But Allie and Kiera are still your Knockouts Tag Team Champions. We move on. Okay, so this one I actually also kind of dug too. I was like, pretty solid matchup.
Yep. Frankie immediately trying to escape the cage, perfectly in character, just getting here, all right, square up, ring the bell, run, and just that was great bit of character work from him. And both guys looked great in the match. It's Like it's the weirdest thing to talk. Like I'm starting to feel weird talking about this pay-per-view because like all of it was good. Like it's hard to call anything like stellar because like, oh my god, this one particular thing kind of like a standout thing, but it's all like just really good, really solid. Like as I'm feeling, I feel like I'm underperforming as the chief hating officer, you know? It's
Which is crazy because I was like, I don't think it's enough to warrant that you're going to be taken out of a job, so to speak.
yeah. Oh no, 100%. There's still going to be shit to talk about, but
there definitely is. But I'm gonna put this one on the wrestlers in the sense I feel that a lot of them came to this into this pay-per-view. They're like, all right, so we got to figure out a way to show up just a little bit more than we normally do.
yeah.
So they're just like, it's a pay-per-view, so we gotta do this. I will also say too, I know Chicago's always hit and miss when it comes to wrestling in general with any promotion because they're either going to be really great or or like in some cases, I want to wring their little necks. So it's just like, y'all are hijacking the show. Stop it.
There was one point that someone they started a CM Punk chant, and I'm sitting here like, guys, he's not even like trying to get into this promotion, guys. What the fuck?
I was just like, listen, philanthropic Phil is over in the other promotion right now. So it's
Charles
just like,
Montgomery Punk.
Seriously, I was just like, that man can. I will just put it like this. I hope he forever has a rocket issue that he can never get out. Because I want to put it this way. I don't wish death upon anyone because that is horrible. No. But I want it to be such a big annoyance where he has that rock in that shoe and he can never get it out.
After this week, I wish death on someone because like after the misfires we had from the Grim Reaper this week, what the fuck, guys?
Honestly, that's a whole nother podcast we can have in a little bit. Also, we're going to talk about, now I'm curious. I'm going to write this down so I can ask you when we're done. And I was like, okay. So, spoiler alert, we'll do this. But back to this. I do appreciate, because even though it was not intentional, I do appreciate that Kaz over here, Kazarian, ended up winning like a slimy heel because Moose ended up like spearing him out of cage, and therefore, by rules of that, Frankie technically wins because he escaped the cage.
Yeah.
So, Kazarian wins. This was pretty chill. Not pretty chill. I was like, yeah, this is what I expect from this too. But honestly, they're very solid in the ring, so I'm cool with it. Yeah. Moving on.
Okay. This one. Like, all right, there was a meme a while back of someone talking to a music producer or a video game company in the late 90s. And someone saying like, all right, it's just the pause menu for a movie tie-in video game. It doesn't have to be like the most perfect hip hop like electronic banger of the season. And then the producer basically said, okay, it doesn't have to, but what if? And then hits play, and it's the the GoldenEye pause menu music, which is this amazing like James Bond riff of things. This is the GoldenEye pause music of wrestling. These are two wrestlers that I didn't like either of them. Didn't like either of them. Again, maybe it's just because my expectations were so low. Maybe it's because I'm seeing like, okay, it's heel versus heel. Elena Black has shown like shades of a babyface turn, but not like fully committed to it. But like, and I'm just saying like, okay, whatever. Here we go. Both of these ladies went hard as fuck. Like,
dare I say, this is like the most old school match I have seen in a hot second in TNA. This was great. I actually liked a lot of this.
I like, yeah, there was a like they knocked this one out of the park. Like, okay, put it this way. TNA is like, and obviously because because they just got back on TV this year, they're really trying to play nice with, you know, the network and everything like that. So like when it comes to episodes of Impact, they got to play it fairly safe. This match got you sick fuck chants. I can't remember the last time I heard a you sick fuck chant outside of AEW.
Seriously. And honestly, it's like the best way to describe it is because we have been here since the beginning of this year, 2026, covering TNA now that they're back on AMC. And you're absolutely right. It feels like TNA has been playing nice with, you know, AMC and the TV execs and all that stuff. And somehow, I don't know who, but they're just like, you know what? I think we can get away with one of these matches just like going balls to the wall, like in terms of like blood. So, and this happened to be it.
I'm not gonna lie, because I'm sitting here trying to like on it just now. Like I did not think about this ahead of time. I'm sitting here just now thinking about all of the matches, specifically in TNA. We're not talking, we're keeping this within TNA. We're not comparing any of these matches to WWE, AEW, New Japan, AAA, whatever. This is just within the walls of TNA. This might be the best match they've had all year.
Oh, 100%.
Period. Like this is like top TNA match of the year material.
No,
and
I 100%
if you had held a gun to my head, like before watching this, saying like, hey, do you think Xia Brookside versus Elena Black is going to be TNA match of the year material? I would have said no, fuck no, shoot me. This was amazing. Like using the belt, like using like the prong of the belt as a claw was nuts. Using like the edge of the title, like this was, and like doing the blood lick thing. This was, it was just top notch stuff.
And the crazy thing is this whole entire match, right? It's just like it was mostly mat work and other things.
It's mostly mat work, and also, can I just say, like, Xia, if you're listening, this was the moment for you. Like this, like up until this match, her heel turn had been this whole like sort of spoiled Nepo baby, petulant brat kind of like, no, I deserve this. I deserve it. I deserve it. I deserve it. No, this was her. This was fangs out. This was like, this was like, no, I am going. This wasn't like, no, I just, they're just like, no, I'm going to leave you in a bloody pulp on the mat. And it was true, like scary, vicious heel kind of character. Like I said, this entire pay-per-view, I have some notes. This match, no notes.
100%. Honestly, again.
And Xia being that much more vicious only makes Elena look better as a babyface when she does, like she did on Impact, fully commit to the babyface turn.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, like doing the whole like, I have been a shitty person. I fucked up. I'm gonna do better, and that's her committing to like, yeah, no, let's get babyface Elena Black in here.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Kudos to both women, man. Like, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I know Xia, her dad is a big time wrestler in the UK and actually trains a lot of them. Elena, I know, has before going to the Fed and then coming back after, being released and everything. She has wrestled for quite some time on the independents, but yeah, man, I don't know who made the decision to have this be the match where we got blood, but honestly, fantastic. And I am here for it. Honestly, I agree with you. I think this is probably one of my favorite matches of the entire show.
Yeah.
And yeah, probably one of the best TNA women's matches this year alone.
I wouldn't even put the women's qualifier on it. I would say like this is one of the best
period.
One of the best matches, one of the TNA's best matches of the year.
Honestly, This is definitely going on my list of year match of the year contenders. So I'm gonna have to revisit some things when we get to the end for our awards.
Mhm.
But oh man, this was now if this match was good for the mat base, this is where things kind of just we took gravity off because damn.
Yeah. Like I TNA Carlos, have a seat. We need to talk. We need to talk. I'm picking up the mic.
Ooh, here we go.
Why the fuck have you been wasting Jason Hotch and a tag team that hangs out in the background doing nothing? I've seen this man do 2, maybe 3 matches now. And dude leaves every goddamn thing in the ring. His gimmick is great. His gimmick isn't even that intense. It's just like, I'm going to have this sort of like speed metal punk kind of vibe and just it's like if Darby Allin wasn't a shithead. That's what it is. It's giving. If we call Fabian Eichner, we have Claudio Castagnoli at home. Jason Hotch is, how to put this? He's like indie darling Darby Allin. It's the poor man's Darby Allin, but in ways a lot better than Darby Allin. Yeah, that's where I'm going to put it at. Anyway, do more with him. Please. Do more with Jason Hotch as a solo guy. I understand breaking up another tag team is not something anybody wants to do in this promotion right now, given the fact that the tag team division is fairly anemic. But if this is what this guy, like, just put Skylar with Special Agent Zero. There you go. You still have a tag team. Congratulations. Let Jason Hotch keep doing this thing. It's magnificent. That is all. I mean, there's more to the podcast, that is my microphone in my face ASMR version of segment for the evening.
And that was a word. That was our word from our chief hating officer here at TNA, who well, thank you for coming to his TED Talk.
Yes, it's like it just. I mean, I'm on record as being a fan of Mustafa Ali, and like I love him as a wrestler and as a performer, and as like he is great at what he does of making you hate him.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just I feel bad for Jason Hotch for having to spend all this time just kind of like standing behind Mustafa Ali in a suit, saying like, "Oh yeah, I'm part of a tag team. Okay, are you gonna have a match anytime soon?" No, I'm really glad that he's finally getting a chance to get in the ring and show off what he can do, more than just a tag team guy. You know, it's a wonderful thing to see.
Yeah, I have nothing else to add. This match ruled. Yep. This match ruled. Ali is our champion once again, but very interesting development after Thursday because Ali wants to call a truce with Hodge, which is like, I smell stunt, but I'm here for it. I was like, nothing is ever as with face value with Ali, but I'm here for it nonetheless. Also, yes, more of Jason Hotch as a singles star, please. This is great. Yes. Anyways, let's keep going. Not surprised. These two did what needed to be done.
Yep.
To be expected
on multiple
from
levels.
These two.
Yeah.
To be expected, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, and like we kind of knew that the outcome was going to be Leon reclaiming the title, because the whole thing of like, oh no, we're just going to expunge the record of your title reign ever existing, and there's just going to be this weird blank spot in our history books of what happened in 2020. What happened in 2025, Dad? Well, due to various clauses of TNA wrestling and NDAs, I can't tell you, son.
So, because I'm not even going front. I was like at least 95% sure. I was like, oh yeah, Leon's gonna win. But then there was that 5% in the back of my mind. I was like, we have seen TNA this year pull some out their ass type of shit. And I was just like, now I know TNA has made some dumb decisions, really dumb decisions, but I was like, they wouldn't make a really stupid decision, because there's a difference between a dumb decision and a stupid decision. Now we have teetered on some of the stupid decisions this year. We've gotten really close to the line, but we haven't gone over it.
Okay.
And there was that 5% of me that thought they could have in this match.
Don't get me wrong. There have been some stupid decisions that also panned out for them really well.
Mm-hmm.
Do I even need to mention the hometown man?
Yes.
Like, brilliant character. I know Cody Deaner technically he's technically still like he was fired or something like that, because that happened just before I came in. But
right.
like this notion of, nope, I am the hometown man. I am always here from the hometown, or I am different people with the same mask.
Oh, it's just like, it's so good. But yeah, there was that 5% chance. It was like TNA might actually do something really stupid, but it's neither here nor there. Leon Slater reclaims the title. I was like, okay, this is gonna be good. We're gonna put a pin in that a little bit later, because I was just like, oh, I can't believe. Okay, we're gonna get there, so I'm gonna wait. But again, as expected, these two are fantastic. I'm sad that Cedric Alexander doesn't have the championship anymore, but I was like, yeah,
that's right. He'll get it back in a minute, because
we'll talk about after a main event.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I was just like, you know what? I didn't hate this match either. I will say it's towards the lower end of if I had to rank all my matches, it was serviceable. Lethal Lockdown rules. Everybody's got to enter, and then we can officially start the match. Weapons come down. Everybody's using things. I do appreciate that the babyfaces tried to be uniform with camo print somewhere. I was like, it's Ricky Sosa in pants. Yeah, Ricky Sosa in pants. That's crazy. But honestly, I said this during when I did predictions last week. I was just like, this babyface team is very weirdly put together. I was like, it doesn't really make too much sense, but you know what? It got people on the card, and I'm not mad at it. People got a paycheck. The system does system things, but I will say I was really happy that this was under Lethal Lockdown rules, because that means that Bear Bronson was in his element, and that made me very happy. Also, shout out to his wife Nomi, who made her debut on Explosion this week. So, Nomi, Miss Gabby Forza, we love Gabby. She's great. I love her. I love them. And shout out, because Bear Bronson is a bicon. We love him. Anywho, but yeah, this match, Lethal Lockdown, it was fine. I was like, I didn't hate it. I was like, yeah, this is pretty all right.
It's pretty much what we expected.
Yeah, system wins. I was just like, they got to win, so I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Nothing else to add. Now.
and that was the end of the pay-per-view. And nothing else of consequence happened.
So I was already not feeling that this was the main event, but I was like, yeah, whatever. It makes a lot of sense. You have I don't make the decisions, but the Hardys are here. They're your tag team champs. They're always somehow towards the top of the card. But you also have Nick Nemeth, who is your current TNA World Champion in this match, so it makes a lot of sense. I was not expecting this match to be as short as it was. I was just like, did they figure like, oh crap, we're running up against the time limit, we need to hurry.
I am not unconvinced. I'm not fully convinced that the ending wasn't a botch. Because the way it ended, Jeff was kind of like trying to like dive to break up the pin, but got caught up on some debris, which feels like a weird detail, you know? It feels like a weird detail to plan. And it's for it to be that kind of moment of like, they get the pin, and basically in that split second, everybody has to make a decision. And everybody made the decision of like, fuck it. They won, hit the music. They won. Congratulations. We'll figure it out in post. You know? And
which makes Thursday's episode interesting too, because somebody's attacking everybody backstage. Like we saw Elijah get attacked during the pay-per-view. Jeff Hardy was the latest victim last night on TNA television. Like, who is running around attacking people?
I have two ideas on that. But
okay, go for it.
Go for it right now. Okay. One is considerably more realistic given what we've seen with some like behind the scenes and convention footage.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, it's the one. Well, and I'll be honest. I hope for either of them for this to be the case.
Okay.
For either to be the case, I would be okay with either of these. But that first one is the Wyatt Six. Like, because we saw like there was a video that was making the rounds a couple weeks ago of the Hardys and the Righteous talking to the former Wyatt Six minus Nikki Cross about saying like, hey, you guys should come over and try TNA. Since their release, they are well past their 90-day clause now. They would be able to join in whenever they wanted. So that would be a good one, good matchup for them. The other one that I think has some potential to it, given some of the recent releases, and someone who I think would actually fit really well into TNA, because like, and I've heard some people speculate about him, like where he's going next because of his recent release. But I think he would fit really well in TNA is Sheamus.
Ooh, I actually would really love that.
Yeah.
Well, I would love either option, to be honest.
Right. The Wyatt Six would be great because it would be a big influx of talent that TNA really needs. Mm-hmm. But having it be Sheamus would also be really good because he's one of those guys that's done everything, mm-hmm. you know? And as much as I would appreciate seeing a reunion of the Bar in AEW, I think given where he's at in his career, put it this way, Sheamus would fit in TNA for the same reason the Hardys fit in TNA.
Mm-hmm.
Legends, they don't have to work that hard to get a pop from the audience. And his style fits with a lot of the other people that are in TNA. Mm-hmm. Like, imagine Sheamus versus Moose. Imagine Sheamus versus Frankie Kazarian. Imagine, like... Sheamus versus Mustafa Ali, even, you know, like
would be really good. Yeah.
Yeah. Like there's a lot of people that he could take on in TNA. And I do not say this to diminish his ability in the ring, but if you were to put, first of all, AEW's roster is already super bloated.
Mm-hmm.
And secondly, there are so many younger guys in AEW. I would worry about Sheamus keeping up.
Mm-hmm.
So, having him go to TNA would be the right move for him.
I agree with you, and I feel like it's a sweet spot too, because despite our criticisms of what's been happening with the roster as of late this year, I feel like TNA is a good sweet spot for Sheamus because you're right. It has that nice balance. There's a lot of wrestlers who have been wrestling for quite some time. Like you said, you mentioned Kazarian, Ali, I would eat Moose, even people like Edwards would also be an interesting
Yeah.
matchup too. Somebody who been wrestling forever.
Sheamus versus Bear Bronson. Think
yes.
about that.
Yes.
Think about that match.
Bring back the Monster Ball match.
Yeah. Like, you want big, meaty men slapping meat? There you go.
I was just like, we all know that Bear Bronson can get down with it. Like, we have seen it on Independent. But I also agree with you, too. Like, there's also, if Sheamus wanted to work with some of the younger guys, it'd be really good experience for people like a Cedric. I know their styles are, like, a little weird, but, like, if you wanted to work with Fabian Eichner a little bit more, like, I don't know how a Leon Slater and Sheamus match would work. Yeah.
Like I said, look, I mean, and like I said, as great as a bar reunion would be, next best thing would be, our Timo Cesaro in TNA with Fabian Eichner,
So very interesting stuff, and I would not be surprised if we started to see within the next couple of weeks more people getting signed to TNA. So really quickly, I want to end this pay-per-view segment by talking about what happened at the end of this match, and then go into within the last 72 hours. TNA has got a couple of signings, but so the Nemesis are your new TNA Tag Team World Tag Team Champions. Nick Nemeth is a double champ, as he is a tag champ and the TNA World Champion. So I was like, okay. I was like, don't hate it, especially because we've seen the Nemesis be tag team champs before. And I was like, okay, this could be a fun one. Now, as
the belts are off the Hardys.
Yes, and take them off the Hardys so they can go and do other things that don't require the titles. But that's a big ask. But as the Nemesis were celebrating in the ring, I was like, okay, this was a fun pay-per-view. As I was about to turn this off, all of a sudden, Leon Slater gets on this microphone. I was like, Leon, what are we doing? And then he's like, listen, I'm going to cut to the chase. We ain't going to waste nobody's time. Gets in this cage. Essentially, I'm going to summarize this as I'm going to give you the Spark Notes version. Leon Slater's just like, I want to be a world champion. And if I have to go through you, I will. So I am cashing in option C. And me and you are going to fight for the TNA World Championship at Bound for Glory in October. And I was just like, oh my God, TNA, remember that they had option C. And that actually, this is great for two things. Number one, this is the quickest way we could get Leon Slater into this title scene, which, he's kind of been meandering close to, with the last couple of champions, especially Mr. Mike Santana, and now with Nick here, it should be an interesting program. But also, Leon Slater still gets to keep his title reign as X Division champion, but also now it frees it up for Cedric to get it back or to put it on somebody else. So, good stuff. So, TNA has the potential to do something amazing.
Well, yeah, they got to they got to get the world title on him before he jumps to WWE,
before he jumps out with his contract expires. But even still, even if it's a short title reign, I feel like Leon Slater should get this world title before he leaves. The kid has put in work in the last 4 years and honestly has been a staple in that company. So, yeah, so that was Lockdown. Again, pleasantly surprised. Very, very good stuff. Even the lows were like, you know what? This isn't as bad as I thought. It could have been worse, is what I was just like, but even still.
Why is Ash by Elegance on that title card?
I don't know.
She wasn't even there.
I was like, this is insane. I was just like, everybody on this poster minus Ash was there. And then you got Leon Slater in the back just flying, which is great.
Yeah. And Ali with the title, but Jason Hotch was the champ going in.
I kid you not. When I made the slides, I went to TNA because that's where I grab all the match graphics. So it's like, thank you for. By the way, I know we talk about TNA and we criticize it for certain things, but I will say I appreciate TNA always having their match graphics on their website, where like they're supposed to, in the correct format that I like in landscape, because it makes my job easier putting these slides together. AEW, I love you. But having to go to Twitter and navigate all that is crazy. So I was just like, and when I go to your website, you have the match cards, but they are in portrait landscape. I'm like, this is good for social media, but I was like, not for slides. But anyways, really quickly, I do want to talk about, because there was a couple of new signings from Lockdown, as well as this past Thursday episode of TNA. So first and foremost, this was kind of like a dark match that happened at Lockdown, but the hometown man took out independent wrestler Joe, not Joe, Mr. Mr. So Joe Alonzo, there we go. I know.
Okay. Oh yeah. Yep, I remember hearing about that.
So, and Santino Marella made it official in that dark match that if Joe Alonzo beat Mr. Hometown Man, he would get a contract. He did, and that was the first signing of the night. So TNA has officially signed Joe Alonzo. So it's just like interesting. I don't know too much about him. I only hear things on the wrestling internet that a lot of people like, and I was like, okay, I need to see what he does, and we're gonna work it out, and we're gonna see. And again, I know she was signed a little bit a while ago, but she made her official TNA debut, even if it was on Explosion. But Miss Gabby Forza, Nomi, the Bard, is officially, had her first in-ring match of TNA officially, even if it was on Explosion. So shout out to her. Now let's get into the meat and potatoes, because the other signing that happened during this show that they gave a segment to, kind of, was Mr. Avery Styles is officially a TNA wrestler. So for those of you who do not know or follow professional wrestling with an obsessive level like we do sometimes, Avery Styles is the 19-year-old son of wrestler AJ Styles, TNA legend, Hall of Famer, storied career across the internationals.
Not a TNA Hall of Famer.
That's right. Never mind. You're right.
AJ Styles, he might be in the WWE Hall of Fame. He is not in the TNA Hall of Fame.
I know he's going to be put into the Hall of Fame, I believe. Did he get put in the Hall of Fame this year? Anyways, he's either in there or he will become WrestleMania next year, but not in TNA rate. But definitely a staple of the foundations of TNA for sure. Like,
right.
I also put Joe and Christopher Daniels and all them folks who made TNA for what it was. Yeah. So I know AJ Styles has been kind of caught in the crossfire with certain things, like with him not helping set up the GCW ring when he did a couple of the GCW shows recently. And I'm just like, I have opinions, but I'm not going to share them out here on the podcast land because we might get in trouble. But regardless,
but trouble gets us views.
That's very true. I guess I'll say it, guys. He got paid to be there and to do his job and perform. I was like, I know you have to pay your due. I feel like, and this is going to get me in trouble, I feel like paying your dues on the independents in 2026 is, I don't want to say outdated, because I do think that grinding on the independents will get you the experience for sure, and it helps you hone your craft a little bit. However, in 2026, when you have, and again, we're talking about TNA, but when you have celebrities who can be booked on these wrestling shows, I'm just like, I don't know if paying dues is a big thing. I think that still should be the case, but I also don't think that we should clown on people. And I'm also going to be honest. He's the kid of AJ Styles. I was just like, there's going to be criticism regardless, because he's the child of a wrestler who has had a storied career. So,
here's my take on it.
Okay.
I understand. So he's 19.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously his dad is AJ Styles. I'm sure his dad has trained him a little bit, and he's gotten some training from some other people in the business. On one hand, yes, don't be a dick. If people are helping set up the arena, help set up the arena. Okay. And for all we know, he's only, okay, hold on. He's 19.
Mm-hmm.
He was just born when TNA really
kicked off.
Yeah. It is entirely possible that he has, and in that time, AJ Styles was full-time TNA, full-time New Japan, and full-time WWE. It is entirely possible that Avery has only known wrestling arenas where they have dedicated crew to set up the arena.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, he wouldn't know that at most indie shows, no, if you're here, we don't have a dedicated crew. Give us a hand. So once again, on that, like, I can understand why he might not understand that this is what we do.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to be too critical of him on that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And to, the indie people that were working that, say, like, give him a break. He's new to this. Tell him, like, hey, we need help setting up chairs to help us out. We every person, every hand, all hands on deck. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
You're new, like, and once again, you're new, so you should be going into this with an open mind and an open, like, I am here to learn as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Because, yeah, you're the son of AJ Styles. Yes, wrestling is a industry full of people that have learned off of the backs of their ancestors. The bloodline, the Rhodeses, the McMahons, the Jarretts. There's a bajillion of them. But just so everybody's aware, just to put everyone's, critical hats on, for every Charlotte Flair, there's a David Flair.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you are the child of one of these luminaries doesn't mean you necessarily inherited all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, even, like, I'm always a little wary when you have that sort of that generational thing and they automatically pick up the same gimmick as their parent.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a great example of that is Dominic Mysterio. Because when Dominic got in, he's basically just playing Rey Mysterio Jr.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until he turned heel that he really started getting, like, that his character work really came into his own, and he got, like, a personality of his own. And people hated him, but he's a heel. That's his job,
Mm-hmm.
And I understand the context was very different because this was a lot of Vince McMahon's meddling and everything like that. But, like, Dustin Rhodes, like, getting away from the American dream of Dusty Rhodes was ultimately solid for his career. Ultimately, I know there was some really rough, some fantastically rough patches in there for him, but it's still it's what made him who he is, and made him the performer that he is in the ring,
Right.
So it's for Avery to come in here, like, it almost feels like a rite of passage for Avery to come in and get shat on for being like, oh yeah, the phenomenal son. It's like, oh, okay, here we fucking go. So, and I'm not judging yet. I haven't seen him in the ring. I haven't seen any of the matches he's done on the indies, and we'll see what happens in a couple of weeks when he has his first match. But
100%.
It's, like I said, just a little wary.
Mm-hmm. And I'll wrap up the Avery before we go into our last signing for this week. But I think TNA, for all intents and purposes, I do think that TNA is actually a good start for Avery. I think it will help him get his bearings a little bit more. And yeah, we'll just see what happens with Avery and his journey in professional wrestling now that he's going to be on our television screen for a little bit. So we'll see.
It does feel soon.
Like, I do agree.
It feels like, especially in the wake of the controversy surrounding GCW, it does feel, it feels panicky. It feels like, honestly, it feels like the kind of like, and I don't know what happened behind the scenes. I don't know what happened in the boardroom. I don't know what happened between Carlos and Avery and AJ and everything like that. But there is a part of me that is worried that it's like that Avery basically went to AJ and said, "Dad, they're picking on me." And AJ turns around and says, "I can't get you in on WWE because I'm not as close there, but I could talk to my friends at TNA and try to get you on there because they're desperate for talent. They're like, we can get you there and we can get you a steady on-screen job."
Yeah. And I mean, that's a that is a possibility that could have happened too, because I do know that despite having a career in WWE, AJ has always had to hit a TNA on his sleeve, like on heart too for TNA. But honestly, though, too, and it's for what it seems like, Avery is probably going to be meandering in his first like program that involves Moose and Frankie. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I'm actually okay with that. Especially with Frankie. Frankie's been in this business forever. So honestly, and I know him and AJ are really well, not, I don't want to say like super close, but they have been around each other for a very long time in this business. So I was like, Avery's gonna do fine. And yeah, I'm more interested to see how Avery tries to, if he's going to try to differentiate himself from his dad. But again, he's only 19. Like, we're literally starting at the very beginning of this kid's journey. So I don't want to put too much pressure on him.
Right.
And we're just gonna genuinely see how this goes. So
yeah.
But I do want to wrap this up though, because we have one more signing this week. And for me personally, I'm very happy to see her back in in the televised wrestling world. But last night on Thursday's episode of TNA Wrestling, Daria and Indy Hartwell had a little bit of a back and forth in the ring because Indy wants next at Zaya's title. And Daria's just like, no, but you know what? Good luck with that. And so Daria has seemed to brought in somebody, and that somebody happens to be Zoe Serrano, formerly known as Zoe Starks from WWE and NXT. I love Zoe so much. I'm so excited to see her back on my TV screen. And, she officially signed TNA. So I really look forward to her. I think she has a unique offense, and just excited for her to be here. So her and Indy should be fun. And then honestly, like we've been talking about, it sucks of the women that we have lost this year in the TNA Knockouts division, but I do appreciate that we're slowly getting people, and I'm just happy to see Zoe personally. That's just me. I'm a little biased.
Sure.
I'm not a little. I'm hella biased. I love Zoe so much, but I'm just hoping that she gets good opportunities and she gets utilized to the best of her abilities, and they give her a fair shot. So as long as she enjoys herself too, then I'm also okay with that as well. So I'm happy to see Zoe here.
Yeah, no, like it's good to see them finally getting some people on their roster that might be able to fill out the undercard a little bit and maybe create some really interesting stories. And like, for honestly, the little bit that we've seen so far since Tommy Dreamer's exit, I wouldn't say it's a huge improvement, but it's on the upswing,
Uh-huh. But again, next week we could be back and be like, this was trash. But then we would give Will his chief hating officer job back again.
It's like, next week we'll turn it on to like, I don't it becomes the Arrested Development meme, just looking in the bag. I don't know what I expected.
But we'll definitely be back here next Friday to talk all about it as well. But to kind of wrap up our final thoughts again, as far as the Lockdown pay-per-view goes, very, very solid show. I was very happy with a good chunk of it. Of course, not everything was perfect, but nothing really can be.
I'd give it a B+.
That's what I'm gonna upload it because I forgot to upload it. I don't know why I forgot to upload it, but that's what I gave it on the report card too. I gave it a B+. I was like, you know what? I was pleasantly surprised. A lot of people did some really good stuff.
But I'll be honest, I might even bump it up to an A- myself based on the strength of the Brookside Black match.
You know what? Now that I've had time and we talked about it, honestly, I probably could. And I can't believe I'm saying this because so really quick behind the scenes, when we do the end of the year podcast, when we talk about like our favorite pay per views, my criteria is always I look back at the report cards. I'm like, all right, what are the 5 highest report card grades that I have given this year? And so last year was pretty easy because I think I only gave one pay-per-view last year an A minus. And again, even though it was the longest show, if you go back and watch the end of the year podcast of last year, pay-per-view of the year with the highest grade was All In Texas for AEW.
Oh yeah, of course.
But honestly, this year I was just like, there's a lot of pretty high up there ones. And yeah, this is the first time TNA pay-per-view has kind of cracked the A range since we started this whole thing 3 years ago. So I was like, you know what? Yeah, so good on TNA, man. If you can keep this kind of like baby step quality up, I'm like, if we finish the year strong, I would be like, I don't know if the whole first half of the year was, or even the first 3/4 of the year was really worth it because we made some really, really poor decisions when it came to certain things. But hey, like you said, Will, if it's on the upswing, we're gonna take it and we're gonna see where it goes.
Yeah.
So look at that. We actually enjoyed talking about TNA this week.
I mean, we always enjoy talking about it, but
that's true.
But we usually enjoy talking about it in a very like Crow T Robot and Tom Servo kind of sense.
No, but like we said, we really enjoyed this pay-per-view, and that's what we want. I know we talk about it in a very like, I don't want satirical is not the word, but we kind of do tee-hees and ha-ha at TNA expense because lol TNA, right? That's the meme. But this is a very solid pay-per-view. And again, if we continue this up and you can make the journey to Bound for Glory as interesting, and Bound for Glory ends up being really good too, I was like, we're on the upswing. But yeah, that's gonna be it. I don't have anything else to say about this, but it has been our TNA Lockdown post show. We're almost done with the week, so we're gonna wrap things up this week in terms of post shows. This Sunday, I will be here on the internet. I will be up eating some breakfast, probably some cereal, as I'm gonna be doing a live watch along for All In, which starts at 10 a.m. my time. Lots of stuff happening though, because there are so many shows in the UK happening that fall under our jurisdiction. So we got the All In watch along on Sunday, and then all of next week is covering a whole bunch of stuff. Monday we have our Eve versus the World 2 show, in which Sky Blue is a fucking deathmatch legend now, and I am so excited to watch that match. Like, this is so good. So that's on Monday. Tuesday is the post show for All In. Wednesday is CMLL. New change to the schedule because of real life things. NXT is now on Thursdays, and we'll be covering the 2 shows that are airing at the same day. So Triple A's Ola de Calor and NXT Heatwave. Then Thursday is the double feature of Mystery Wrestling in London, which is going to be insane to talk about. Don't know what that's going to be, but it's going to be fun, as well as Progress Wrestling Over Everything. And then we'll be back here for TNA on Friday. So lots of things happening. I got to get up. We're going to get up on out of here because, yeah, like, talking about nice things at TNA is making my skin, I'm breaking out. No, I'm just kidding. Listen, I have been through the trenches with TNA, and I will not be abandoning ship so quickly. But yeah, we got to get up on out of here because I'm getting feelings of positivity, and unless it's Big E, I don't want it. But no, I'm just kidding. We're gonna get up on out of here, though. Thank you so much for tuning in. From all of us here at BC WrestlePod. Do you at home? Remember, take care of yourself, love one another, stay iconic, and more importantly than anything, you always deserve to finish your story. We'll see you Sunday for All In. But until then, sayonara, adios, and until next time, peace.